So far, you guys have a good time?
Very good.
Yeah. Who's first day is it, or is it second day?
Second day.
Second day? Nice. Well, I'd like to thank you all for coming to our panel, which is amazing. This is actually our first time here at Megacon. So, do we have any actors or actresses trying to get involved, trying to get more involved with the community? Got a couple? Alright. Are you guys interested in learning more about maybe film festivals or running some stuff? Yeah, awesome. So we're going to be going over that. My name is Joe Finari. I am actually the main owner of Fear Fame Productions, along with my partners Jonathan Montez and Heather Fraley. They've been doing a lot in the Florida film community. They've been acting nonstop. Heather has a lot underneath her belt. She's already been over 87 films. Or 87 in just a year's time. Jonathan's also been on. She's the face of the community as well too. These are usually two faces you'll see a lot when it comes to the Florida film community. And actually, we got one of the actresses actually right in front too. Her name's Katie Payne. Yep. She's actually one of my actresses as well. She's been in a lot of feature films, and she's in the same as well.
She's an amazing voice actor.
Have acted together as well.
She's an amazing voice actor.
Great voiceover. So basically, I was going to go over everything that we started, how we got basically from the ground up. A lot of people could think maybe making a film is difficult. Should I do it? How much money does it cost? Am I wasting my money? Am I wasting my time? First of all, get that all in your head. You're here to do something that you love doing for fun. So you have a script. It may not be the best script, but it's something. Go out there, maybe get your friends and family involved, just to make something. Even if you don't have all the high-end gear of flashy cameras and lights, use your phone, use a little ring light if you have to, something just to get started. Because starting from somewhere is better than starting from nowhere. Which a lot of people, kind of do that. How we got started is we did a full feature film in 4 days, which a lot of people said that was impossible, and it pretty much was. We learned a lot from that first feature, running gun, no slates, really nothing. We just kept running and moving like crazy. So it's possible, it's doable. You just gotta have a mindset that you want to create something magical to deliver to other people so they can see what you have.
And then over time, you learn how to progress those things and make them come out, the product come out more professional, more accurate, and you grow and learn from that. But start somewhere, anywhere.
And then, like I said, as you grow, you will learn new techniques, and you always become better. You usually will always improve. You usually will never go backwards, because you learn from those mistakes, and you're going to learn from them quick. Especially with the film community in Florida, they're very honest, and they'll tell you, hey, you're doing a great job. Hey, work on this. Maybe you can do this better. And they'll give you good guidance to be better when it comes to your next film. And if you get a good, solid crew, they will be with you from beginning to end, no matter how torturous it is, because they love it so much. So if you have that passion for acting and you want to get started, you're going to love it. No matter how long it takes 12 to 14-hour days, which seems like forever, but you're networking, you're meeting other people, you guys are laughing, you have communication, your Facebook friends are now growing, or our social media is now growing, and you're just building a nice community. And this is like wherever you live. So I don't know if anybody doesn't live in Florida, so if you move to a different state, it works the same exact way. The best way to do it is hop on Facebook or any type of group, social medias, to reach out to your community, see what's in the film community, what projects are being made, and just try to get more involved with it. Even if you're just helping, maybe you say, hey, I'll help behind the cameras as well, I'll help you move lights, or I'll help you grab things from people. Just to get a feel of what it's like to be in the industry. And you'll learn. It's not an easy level, it's definitely starting from the ground up to the top. I started kind of just running gun, director, doing it all. Directing, writing, producing, editing, marketing, everything, and that comes ahead. But then you realize you have a team, and that's what my team is right here. They help guide me through darker times when you feel like you're overloaded. They will help you push to another level. And you can easily find a helping hand, very easily. As long as you come up humble, be positive, don't basically talk smack in the first week. You basically will learn a lot that way.
And giving good communication, like when you start working with the people in the industry, that's what I usually tell is the biggest asset in networking, making those connections. For me, these are my family, and the same as Katie. I mean, these are people that I can work with on set, and I can meet outside and have fun. So you get to know them on a personal level as well, because you're spending so much time with them. So it's important to have good communication with everyone that you're working with.
And as we progress through the panel, you're going to see our trailers. That's the first time we're releasing any of the work that we've done, basically for this event that we've been working on a lot, but we want to showcase something for you guys for the very first people to see eyes on first. The first show that we will be playing is from our first feature that we did shot for 4 days. This was actually before I met Heather. This is when I got Jonathan on. Just thought it was gonna be a fun little thing I came across, and it kind of just blew up. People were like, who is this guy doing a film in 4 days? And people wanted to work with us right afterwards. I kind of put the project because, as I told you, when you first do a project, it's not gonna be your first, it's not gonna be the best. You're gonna come across so many issues. And from our first trailer, you're gonna notice how it progresses when you see the other two. You'll see the first one, it's still good, but you know it's gonna be a million times better when you continue to grow.
I would like to add real quick, the trailers, they do have some adult language in them, so if there's children in here, please be aware of that.
Adult language and gore. So before I play the first show, does anybody have any questions so far? Okay. So this is the first one. It's not really that polished. There's still audio issues and the color is not 100%, but it's just to showcase what we did basically 4 days with really no audio, nothing, and then how we progress over time. So this is Hunter's Cabin.
This cabin looks amazing. We're gonna have so much fun on this trip.
But I'm just gonna fix the audio out.
So, Kate, this cabin looks amazing. We're gonna have so much fun on this trip. So, you remember the young brothers that just escaped the war? So, they didn't make out like this. They moved with their family, you know, hunting trips, and some people couldn't say that this is the
What is he doing with her home? You better start fucking running. Holy shit, we're done.
So like I said, that was our first feature that we shot in 4 days. So as you can see, when we talk about the other shows a little bit later, you'll see the quality will kind of change and things will sound a little bit better. And as we continue to grow, you're always going to improve no matter what. But the makeup that was done for this film was actually done by a 13-year-old. At the time that she did, she was actually 12. And she's one of the best makeup artists in Florida that I have. I say her name is Athena Street. And she's taken over the Florida market. She's been doing a lot of movies now. So by the time she was 18, she was up
She did
there.
her first SAG feature.
Yeah, and she also did her first SAG feature as well too. And she's only 12, well 13 now. And so it don't really matter the age, you can still go at any point. Do you have any questions regarding the trailer? No.
I do. When will that one be released?
So we're doing our releases for our films, our 2 feature films. Actually, we have a film festival coming out, which is going to lead to the next thing. That's going to be in September. So it'll actually be our first film festivals, which got a lot of submissions already, and we've only been just starting to get submissions, and they're coming in a lot. I love film, I love movies, I love exploring them. So I said I want to make my own international film festival. So we're getting films from Ireland, we're getting films from Australia, we're getting films from all across, the United States and the world. Oh, got a question in the back?
So do you enjoy it?
Do I enjoy it?
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. And when you really love it, you will sacrifice those days when they're 14-hour days. The passion that you have for those films will just seem like a regular hang out with your friends, or just it's not gonna be hard.
Did you say you're hosting a film festival in September, or you're submitting the film to its first film festival in September?
I'm actually hosting my own.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yes, so you can have our own.
Go ahead.
You're locally in Orlando or where?
Oh yeah, so our film festival is gonna be in Tampa. Unless we get a lot of submissions, then I may push it to a bigger venue, maybe in Lakeland. Right now, we're in Tampa though, at the cinema. So that's what we do. Is like I said, we got a lot of submissions coming in, and these are people that's been doing it for a long time. People who just new, just like maybe one of you guys, who's never done anything before. So I've seen all sorts of films coming through already for submissions that are less quality than that by a lot. You can tell it's probably been shot on like an older Android phone, but you know, it really don't matter what you shoot on as long as you tell a story. The story says something. The story is more important than a lot of things, and audio. So that's why you can tell that audio wasn't the best, and it kind of hurts, takes away from the experience. That's another reason why I purposely made this trailer with a little bit of less audio, just to prove a point that audio can hurt a film if you don't have proper audio. So audio is key. Audio sometimes is more important than video. Like I said, so we do have a film festival, which we have to go Fear of Fame Film Festival. We are talking to a couple of little celebrities that we're going to try to get in there to actually do that at the event. So we are working pretty hard to try to get it going. So if you have a film you want to submit, we got to go to Film Freeway and you submit that way.
Sorry,
No,
another
of
question.
course.
Is it limited to only like live action films, or do you also accept animated films?
Animation too. Yep. So we're doing short features, animations, and student films.
Thank you.
Okay. Can you get your animator? Yeah.
Oh,
Because
that's
well,
awesome.
definitely we want to see them at work because I'm looking for animation movies eventually too. But that's a whole different level too. Then we want to get into animation. That's a great niche to get into right now because especially independent animation is not as big that it could be because there's so much great talent, but it's a lot harder to kind of get into that field. But if you do that, there's a big window for it right now, really big.
That's awesome. You're the first I've met in a year that's doing innovation, so that is
It's
very
a
cool.
senior capstone project, so it's a group project.
It's very awesome. My daughter was just asking the other day, she's like, Mommy, why don't you do any cartoons? And I'm like, because they're hard.
They're hard and they're not everywhere.
Yes, so kudos to you.
Do we have any writers? Anybody write their own material? We got a lot of writers. That's really a lot. Okay. Have you guys ever tried maybe pitching your scripts to a local film person or trying?
Production.
You tried? Tried? What happened in your experience?
Respectfully declined.
Respectfully declined? Okay. Well, that means you go back and did they give you any feedback?
No.
No. Sorry, I hear that. It's good to try to get feedback at least, even if they, deny, because it happens. You're gonna write a script that's not the greatest. Yep, go ahead.
Sorry. Yes, I'm a director. There are a lot of places and a lot of people in actually Orlando, Florida, that are in the film industry. I'm gonna say AFO, it's not AFO. What's the one that, like, the film festival, like, throw stuff in?
T-Buff? Or?
Sunscreen.
See?
Hawaii?
Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
Yes.
That's another one that you want to get in contact with, on Facebook. There are so many places here, and I know it's very.
No, go
But
ahead.
don't let one person make a judgment, continue. Because what one person doesn't like, somebody else will love.
Yes, absolutely. And to keep submitting it to different people, and like she mentioned, we all are in OIF. You can write your own script, you can get accepted or whatnot. Usually first timers are accepted for the most part, and you can create your own film for the first time. But you have to also have the production, like your crew, your cast along with you. You can't just submit it. You have to make it and turn it into a film. But that is a good place to start.
But before going to her, but usually you can find them in those same groups, since usually it's kind of like everyone is doing it, for the love of the film. You can find somebody that, for example, if you don't want to direct and you just want to be the writer or the producer, you can find someone that directs the film for you, people that act for you, so you can still go and make those casting calls or crew calls on the same group, and people will reach out to you.
Kay's actually
And
pretty
she-
cool.
she-
Oh, go ahead.
That is the first step,
That is the first
absolutely.
step.
Try, keep going. That's what I did my entire first year. My first year I did 87 films, and that was the first time ever acting. So just keep going.
You can always will improve.
Yeah, yes, we'll improve.
All the time. Like I said, it was OIFs are great, like she mentioned, definitely pitch it, because like Katie did the same thing. She put her first one, she found a whole crew, because she's not a camera person, but she still found everything she needed to make her film perfect, which is awesome. So it's a great community. Speaking of OIF, we actually did one, our first one that we did, we actually got nominated for 7 awards. So that was kind of a huge accomplishment for the fact that I wrote it in 10 minutes. I really didn't even try.
Actually, are you going to be able to show that? Remember we asked you?
I could probably show some of that as well too. If there's some time we can show that.
That one, he wrote it very quickly, and we got 7 nominations?
Yeah, about 6 or 7.
6 or 7 nominations. Jonathan was an actor in it, I was an actor in it, he wrote it, I think, in 10 or 15 minutes, because it was last moment. That was our first OIF adventure. This is our second, so we were a lot more prepared, but we did fairly well for that one. I mean, I wouldn't say the quality was top notch on everything, because we have progressed as the year has gone on. From the first trailer, you'll see as that goes, but we're very proud of it. It's a lot of work on everybody's behalf.
Yeah. Any other questions? Okay. I'm going to go into our next trailer. This is more of a drama, because a lot of people have always thought that we just did horror films because they hear Fear of Fame, so they think, oh, these guys only know how to do horror films. So I have to prove to people that no, we don't just do horror films, we do all types of films. That's the best part. You can stick with a niche. So if you if you want to just do horror films, or if you just want to do dramas, that's okay, because then you could find your target market. But if you want to explore, it doesn't hurt to also explore, because it also helps you progress with your skills to learn and do something. Maybe you don't know anything about comedies. Comedies are usually hard for a lot of people. So either you just like, let me try to make an attempt at a comedy. It'll be great, maybe not, but at least you try to do something that you've never tried before. So this one is also like a short drama that we put together. And it's called Late.
He said late, if you could hear.
Yeah, it's called Late, sorry.
Can't be answering any messages or calls. No, I just lied to my mom the first time, and I feel really bad about it. I don't know if I can do this. I'm Maggie. Wow, you're a real down for this guy. I didn't have to put a cool skater boy tonight.
So how's Dad doing with everything?
Honestly, not good. She's really upset about Mills and that boy I don't like.
Benji?
It's not what it looks like.
I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna be my mom. Well, I can't. Well, I gotta start escaping with my mind. You had an idea of running away, and I agreed with it. Thinking it was gonna work.
I'm moving. Long distance relationships, they don't last.
Do it, I'll do it. I'll take the promotion.
I would do this all over again, just to be with you. You're so dead when you get home.
So that was our feature late. And if you're gonna notice one thing with these trailers, I did kind of do them quick, because I knew that Megacon was around the corner, and I didn't get to fully polish them the way I want. So it's not the full color grade nor the full sound. But the sound, if you can notice, has been a little bit better compared to the other one, but it's still not the actual real sound that we use for the film. So when it comes out, it'd be a huge difference. But it's also, the point of that is to show that technology is growing, and so is AI based. So as you heard the differences between the one girl talking and the other girl talking in the park, you hear a lot more wind. It's to showcase that one, you can still isolate the wind, even if it's really heavy. And I can even isolate that wind even much more, but I wanted to showcase that you guys are gonna come across those issues of heavy winds, rains, and if you're gonna like that's gonna screw your whole film. But with AI and technology, the way that we're growing, with these certain programs, their isolation is actually really good. So if you haven't messed with it, definitely try it. DaVinci, Premiere, they all have it. So anybody, and give it a shot because it's awesome what you can do and how much sound you can remove from your background to make it sound just a little bit cleaner, even with a microphone that's just straight from the camera. And that was the point of that I'm trying to come across with the audio. Anybody have questions regarding Elite?
What editing software do you use?
I use DaVinci now. Just the color science alone is amazing, which I haven't even dabbled with any of the shows yet. But it's such a good phone. Plus, it's free if you want to start out, so you get the free version. And then when you do want to get those little additional features, it's only one time paying them like $300 compared to paying for Adobe, which is $50 a month. So if you don't feel like paying $50 a month, and just do one flat out fee, I definitely recommend DaVinci. Is getting more industry standard.
Do you use Blackmagic?
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
amazing with Blackmagic.
Yeah, that late was actually shot on Blackmagic 6K. Actually, so was Hunter's as well too. The first one that was actually shot on 6K, but we shot that one in ProRes. This one we shot in B-RAW. That was also no difference between ProRes and B-RAW. I know when your codecs of your cameras. If you don't know any of that, there's a lot of YouTube videos, or just look at what a cinematographer, the local one, just so many of them, and just try to like, if you want to learn more behind the cameras, or just hop on a set like, hey, can I help you with behind the camera system? And then they'll be glad because they can always use help when you need.
Okay, I got a question.
Go ahead.
This is sort of as a director field person.
Sounds good.
Okay, so one of the biggest problems I feel that Florida has is we don't have incentives. And I feel that the group that, you know, everybody here, we all complain about it, but nobody like has really pushed it. And what we've pushed has been denied. I mean, we had incentives like in Miami where Tarzan and all of them were made, and then it was cut. And do you have to make so much noise? Then it was cut, and nothing's been like really pushed on that to a degree of like it would change the film industry here.
Yeah, for bigger films, why they don't film in Florida, there's a lot of different reasons, and there's a lot of speculations, but a lot of it is tax reasons. That's majority, basically 99% of the reason that they always say is because of the tax. Like Georgia, they get the most tax write-off. In California, most tax write-offs. Canada, all that. But Florida, since it's a no tax state really, they don't really profit off of it. They only use Miami, St. Augustine just for like the view. But most of the times they don't even film the whole thing.
You're fine, you're
It's
fine.
They always come in when I'm in the panel.
Noises, we're fine with noises, because up here, when you're just staring out there, you've never done this before, it's kind of nerve-wracking, so noises are fine.
And that's when you will learn on set. Sometimes you'll have a nice director, like me just trying to ignore it. And other ones you'll have really mean directors that are like, you better turn that damn phone off or I'll throw it against the wall. So you will come across some of them too. They're out there. There's some really mean directors. Depends what they want. And if they're trying to get something done and you're disturbing what they're trying to get done, they're gonna say something to you. I've seen directors kick people off sets with them too.
Sorry, I have another film festival question.
Of course.
How many film festivals have y'all submitted to, and do you have any recommendations for like beginner film festival submissions?
So to actually submit them?
Yeah.
So when you first started out, what I did, which I think is a good approach, is first find all the free ones, the ones that you don't have to pay anything for, or the very low pay ones. Because you don't want to like, dish out a lot of money if you don't know what kind of feedback you may get. I mean, if you want to spend all your money on Sundance, because you're like, I think this is it, can we spend $100 and submit to Sundance? You got the budget, go ahead. So I say start with like the smaller ones, just to see if you get something, and then pay for the little ones, and then maybe save one for one big one that you feel like. If you start seeing like, oh, this is official selection, oh, I just won this award from this festival, this one, and they're all small ones, then you know my film's decent if I just won 20 awards at these small festivals. Let me try to go for a big award and see what happens.
Have you done any festivals yet?
No, we were about to start submitting in about 6 or 7 weeks.
Okay, that's the best thing to do, is to get a couple of them under your belt, see how you feel about it, and feedback you're getting on what you do, or if you want to do another one, and you know how you want to grow or improve if you do, or if you love it how it is, leave it, and then kind of go from there and continue on with the festivals and the more expensive entry ones.
And usually film festivals will send back feedback.
Sometimes, not all the time.
Sometimes.
It depends how many submissions I actually get.
Yeah, and the good thing about submitting to many of those smaller festival fairs is that if your film gets noticed, you start at least getting, even if it is like an official recognition that your film was selected, even though it may not win something, but it got selected, so that's a recognition that your film gets. So the more you get, the more prestige it shows to the audience, so it helps.
And nominations, all of that, you can use to help promote yourself and get your name out there. Because, like you said, being, whatever film festival it is, as a 2013 selection, nominee, whatnot, you can add that to your film's flyer, as well as if you're nominated, how many nominations you get. And people, they pay attention to that on those flyers. They see that stands out. That is showing that you are taking it seriously and you are progressing with it. And those small things can definitely benefit you with self-promoting your film or product.
Yeah, the one thing that I will say is like do your research when it comes to the film festival that you're submitting to, because some of them, for example, they will allow shorts and features, but then when it's time to recognize some of the films, like let's say they will just award best actor, best actress for features, but they don't do that for shorts. For shorts, they just say, well, the best short was this one and that's it. So you also want to research which one you want to submit, because if on this one you're just gonna get one nomination, if any, and on this one you have up to 10 maybe, you wanna go for that one as well. So that's things to consider.
So having more nominations, no matter for what, is easier for you to get recognized, like the numbers?
No, it's more of a kind of like, I would say it's more kind of like a marketing strategy for you as the director or writer of the project. That way you can say, hey, my film has this amount of recognitions, whether it's nominations or actually winning some awards. But you will have more to show, like, hey, this was nominated 6 times for Best Actor, Best Supporting, Best Videography, so you will have more to say, and that catches the attention of others as well.
So the main thing that leads into the next thing is basically now budgeting. Now maybe you're right to take the next step to make your films better. How do you budget things properly? This is a big thing that a lot of filmmakers will come across. First start with a budget, but you gotta remember where your budget doesn't just go into pre-production. This is where I see a lot of filmmakers fail on, I guess you could say, because they'll put all their money in pre-production and not an actual filming process. So they'll spend all the money on the actors, the crew, just getting the props, the location. Now the film's done. Now what happens? And you have no budget left. You have no budget left, that means you're editing by yourself, you got color grade, okay, that's fine. But now what do you do about distribution? What do you do about a premiere? What do you do about submitting to festivals? Your budget's tapped. So when you start planning your film, plan for pre, during, and after. Because even during, things arise. Props break, you need to buy a new prop. Oh, maybe I need more gels on the window to make it look more nighttime outside. There's not enough food, we ran out of food, we ran out of water. You gotta calculate all of that stuff in your head pre-too, so you kind of don't have that headache. Because that happens a lot, and that happened to me, I'll be honest. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I came in late, I don't know if you covered this already.
Yeah.
How do you get a budget? Like, do you just take your own money, or is there like grants you can like apply for, or how does that work?
It's a great question. It's really the toughest question that a lot of people are trying to figure out the most is, how do I get the budget? If it's your first film, like if it's your absolute first film, don't let that hesitate you not having a budget to get it done. What you do is make it shorter or make a short out of it, and then just do the best you can with your own personal money. You don't have to find a local community, like we said. Oh, if you'll find those people that will work for free, it's because they see a vision in you.
I want to add something real quick when you said was short. If you have a feature that you want to do, like a full-length film, you can do a short prior, cheaper, get it out there, then raise the funds, and then turn it into a feature later and reshoot it. That's what a lot of people do with shorts.
Because the main thing is the investors, they're not going to give you money if they don't see something from you first. So when you try to pitch to something, and you think, yeah, do a film. Well, okay, can you show me something? And you end up going to show it. So they're not going to give you anything. So doing these little things, that's why doing these little progresses that we see you as you progress through your films. Now you got these, let's say 3 films out, 3 or 4 films out. Now you say, I started with this amount of budget. I did this with this. And you're like, okay, you made a movie awesome, maybe with $2 grand. And they're gonna recognize that, and they're like, wow, you did $2 grand? Imagine what you can do with $100 grand. And they'll recognize you more. So it's kind of like getting out there. So when you apply for a job, more experience you have, they'll look at you more seriously.
So start small and then just kind of work
and just keep going. So even though how bad it is, like I said, as long as you're shooting, just shoot. If you don't have a camera, iPhone 13s, or find someone who has one of those, shoot. There you go, shoot's progress. Shoot in raw format, and then shoot something. Because when you throw in like DaVinci, you can color grade it, you can still make it look cinematic, and I guarantee you, if you show it to people that don't know films, most of them don't recognize it. People that do, like if she's a director, there's some other filmmakers, they're gonna know that's definitely shot on an iPhone. But also make that clarity too, so if you have actors and whatnot, let them know too what your vision is, and kind of give them a head start, because I know people will be like, oh yeah, I want to set, they're so excited they got casted, and they show up literally it's a guy with an iPhone on a tripod, and they're like, this is a joke. Because they didn't know what they got themselves into. So it's good to clarify, like if you know you're shooting with like an iPhone, something that doesn't look appealing to somebody you never worked with, but hey, this is a low budget film, but we are shooting with, we're doing like a cool creativity thing with the iPhone. So as long as you tell them ahead of time, they're not gonna all be like, oh, this is a joke, and then they're not gonna take you serious. But as long as you're upfront and humble and honest, you're kind of good.
And also some of the mentality that people will have depending on the situation, because usually like if an actor gets books a project, he will expect a camera, something like they're expecting something from the crew. But usually, I mean, let's be real, iPhones and Androids, they all have like 4K, 6K capabilities, and you can record like a 8K as well. So technically you can shoot something equally as beautiful as with a big camera. It's just that some people, maybe they don't necessarily expect that, and some people will kind of like, oh wait, what's up? But just be upfront. That's why like communication is key between the crew and the cast.
Very cool, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
And that also goes into pre-production too. I learned this the hard way. Having call sheets, having a game plan for both your cinematographer and your cast, so they know when their time they're arriving, what scenes they're doing, so they know that they have their lines prepared, and kind of have that plan for the day. And just go through that, so you know when you're done with those scenes, you're done for the day, and then have another call sheet for when you go do another day. Oh, right there, we're back.
I've always wondered how you break into different things. Let's say if you were young and or 20 years or so and you wanted to be an actor, if you just started volunteering for every last short film, said yes to everybody, knew your lines, took direction, even if you weren't an amazing actor, could you saturate the film industry eventually with like start recognizing?
Yeah, that's what I did. My first 8 months, I've been doing this for 13 months now. My first 8 months, anything and everything, I accepted it all. I did not think anybody would notice, but a lot of people did notice because my name was in a lot of films, every casting call. So when I came over to sets, I met a lot of new people, and then I would run into the same faces repeatedly. I made friends. I got to know people. I got to become business partners with some people, and now I've actually directed some of my own films as well. It's all a learning process. I didn't know all that was going to happen that quickly. I was just like hungry, and I was like, I'll do anything, I'll do everything, as long as it's within my morals and all of that. Yeah, and how do I word this? Okay, I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Okay.
When Hunter's Cabin, the first film that he put the trailer on, I auditioned for this gentleman right next to me. It was a hard no. It was a hard no. And I was not ready. I wasn't. That was my second month of acting. It took me, I want to say, probably, how long did it take me? A good 6-7 months before I felt like I seen myself grow, even just a little bit, and progress. And then I got, what's the word, challenged more. They gave me harder roles, they gave me more dialogue, I pushed myself more, because I started as a BG background. And I went from background to just doing everything, and then a hard role, okay, and now I'm a mom, now I'm a phantom ghost, now I'm this, now I'm that, just doing anything and everything. It taught me to grow so quickly, and I don't think that would have happened had I not done all of that. And this gentleman that told me absolutely no is now my business partner, and I'm in almost every single one of his films. So yes, keep going, and the more you do, it's just like anything, the better you can get at it. But don't do the same thing. Make sure you're learning, pay attention to people around you, watch the other actors around you.
just pick up, be a sponge, take everything you can in about all of it.
And you just want to keep growing. You won't be stuck though in that same spot. You know,
No.
you won't be stuck doing the same film that you feel like it's not going to progress in your career. So when you're at that level, when you feel like I'm ready to blossom, don't stay where you are. Don't be afraid to say, I will help you because you maybe got me started, but I'm going to branch and I'm going to do my own thing. I always recommend Ben Affleck as a great example. You know, he started with Kevin Smith. And, you know, back in the day, he blew up to be a huge actor. But guess what? He's still doing Clerks 3 on a low budget when he's big time. So he still respects where he came from, but he says, I'm blossoming, I'm growing. You know? So that's the kind of example I kind of use when it comes from independent to still growing. Don't be afraid to grow. And it's with anything that you do. Directing, writing, especially when it comes to writing, stuff like that. You write for small people and then you get a big offer. And if you get a big offer, try to stay with that. You know, keep that train riding as long as possible. Try not to go back to your old ways of going for less. If that makes sense.
Keep pushing yourself to try, try new things, new characters, learn something new. I'm trying to learn how to edit now. I try to do it all. Like, I want to learn everything in film, and so I just push myself, and it's a love for it, and that can be for anything, not just film, whatever you care about. Just try to do that.
Did any of you attend film school? Do you have any opinions about film school?
I guess that would be me, because I'm only one. I actually just graduated. I got a little certificate from Full Sail for film and video. That's where you go? I actually got my bachelor's from the music production, and then I wanted to go back for the actual full program, but they're like, well, you just graduated your bachelor's, you still got all these student debt. So I'm like, okay, so I can't get the full degree, but I still get the certificate. Which certificate was everything I already knew, so I thought it was kind of a waste for me. But my brother's going for the cinematographer one right now. He's going for his bachelor program. And for somebody who doesn't know nothing, like my brother didn't know anything. He's already learned so much that he can now have a conversation with me to understand what everything is when it comes to white balance, when it comes to like stuff that you never would have known before you started school. So it can progress, like as long as you put in the work, you can definitely get something out of it. Is it for everybody? If you feel like you know a lot, you know, I thought I knew a lot with music, and then I was like, oh, this is gonna be a breeze for me, I'll go for bachelor's. And as soon as I got progressed towards the end, I was like, okay, this is something I didn't think I knew how to do, and I learned something. As long as you take something from it, then it's great. When I got at Full Sail, actually, it was actually the script course, the script writing course, it's actually pretty good. So did you take that yet?
I want to.
Okay. Would you going for cinematography, or what class are you going for?
I really just wanted to do like any screenwriting type of.
Okay. I know they have that, like the journalism, and they have the script writing if you go for like, the cinematography. Also great with Full Sail too. I'm not trying to promote a sponsor or anything, but if you graduate, you can take any class you want in any of the programs. Great, you'll get credit for it. If I say, hey, I want to be a game designer, I can start taking game design classes free of charge. Will I get a degree out of it? No, but at least I can learn if I want to learn, which is pretty cool. That's how you can do that in the field. So.
Now, I do want to point out, like, if it is like for more as a, you're thinking as an actor and not necessarily like on the crew side, it might be a little bit different because then you have, specialized schools that can like give you classes just to kind of like learn the craft of being an actor. But you also have, the option of getting yourself a coach, someone that can be maybe one-on-one with you and not dedicating, his time for an hour. You're paying maybe like $60 to $100 for a class, and he's dividing the attention between 10 or 15 people. Some people will charge that same amount for the same amount of money for the same amount of time, and they will dedicate the time to you. So if you're thinking as an actor, not crew, then that's different options that you can would like to explore.
And not everybody does courses or acting or.
I went to one of was a school for acting. Was there for 6 months, and I am currently kind of like taking classes with an acting coach. And I'm a million times percent I will go with the coach than with the school.
And there's some people who can't afford that. That was me. I was a single mom. I practiced, I would get my lines and I would just do them over and over again on my phone and using TikTok, I'm not gonna lie. I would follow other people's little tutorials and kind of make my face match with theirs, watch my emotions, watch my facial expressions over and over and over again. Okay, I want to be angry, I'm going to show myself that. I'm going to be sad. I learned my face very well because we don't know what we look like. We we don't, know, most people don't anyways. When there's a camera in your face, you're like, okay, well, what expression did I have? I know exactly what expression I had because that's how I taught myself because I couldn't afford it. So there's people that can and people that can't. And, it's great for some people, amazing for most people, and some people just have to kind of work with their little crutches and what they've got until they can.
Oh, that's it, like record yourself, do a monologue, you do it, 2-3 times, see it again, check, like be very, very picky with yourself. Like, okay, so I can do this expression better, I can move this way or not move so much, because sometimes like directors like to watch a lot of your expressions and some sort of movement, but they don't want to see you all over the place unless you're more into theater, which is a little bit more extra. That's kind of like how they call it, because they need to be big on set. But for film, you want to be more natural. So those are the things that you kind of like, you want to pay attention for when you're doing those, those videos, and you can pretty much train yourself as well to that.
So we're gonna play our last trailer. Once again, because it's not there, and also the sound's not there. This is our last feature. We actually shot this back in February. February?
Yeah.
It was this year. So it's obviously just got into post-production work, but I wanted to kind of share something that was a really fun project for us. It's called Tribute, kind of plays tribute to classic horror films. Which is a lot of fun that we had on set. And I just want to play.
Also adult language in this one.
Yeah, also adult language.
And Katie, don't blink.
Oh yeah.
That's what
Katie's in this trailer.
Alright, here it is, Tribute.
What's up? Ready to party? A toast to the hottest party of the fucking year. Woo! Woo! So sorry,
Oh, have you lost your goddamn mind? Creeping up on our lawn, man.
Tonight started off as a simple Halloween party that tributes to all classic horror films at some random person's house. Who would know that this would lead to 2 naked, dead women, a missing child, a wounded man, and a mystery. Nobody could ever touch my wine, and I'm not recommending her to anybody. Trick or treat!
So that one was a lot of fun to shot. As you can tell, the picture quality is a lot better. We actually use a higher end quality camera for that one. So it's going to be amazing once we actually do the full color and whole correction and everything. That was a lot of great times. And the two films are actually tied together, Hunter's Cabin and Tribute. Tribute is basically kind of a prequel to Hunter's Cabin. So it has a lot of the same references, a lot of the same characters. That's why you notice the one guy being the cop, that's the law man. We also have Katie Payne. She was also reprising her role as an officer as well. So it was kind of cool to have, like, to put the two films together.
Jonathan.
Because Jonathan reprising his roles in both films as well. And we're looking to premiere both of those at our film festival in September. And it should be September 23rd, Fear of Fame Film Festival. So if you want to submit your film festivals, please do. So I'd like to see you work animations and all. Even if it's like halfway done, just notate it that's not within. So actually somebody submitted saying, hey, it's not 100% done, but excuse me, was submitted anyway, they did. So I'm still taking it into consideration, so it tells a good story, so that's fine. And that's Fear of Fame Film Festival. You look that up on film.
They're not just feature-length films, right? They can also be short films.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, feature shorts, animations, and students. Yeah. Go ahead.
What was the name of the film festival?
Oh, Fear Fame Film Festival.
Fear Fame?
Yeah. Film Festival.
Hey, on a related note, if you could add subtitles to some of those films, it helps those that are hard to hear.
Oh yeah, they're gonna be all subtitles and everything's gonna be like that. Like I said, Megan kind of just told me, hey, you got a panel like literally like last minute. So
Yeah.
I kind of just rushed the trailers just so we could show you guys something.
When he releases them, it's going to be all the color grade, all the audio. These were not that. It was just an example.
Yeah, these were just for you guys to kind of just see exclusively.
I do have a question.
Yes.
As a director, and who directed?
Right here.
Okay, and did you say you directed some too?
A different film, yes, I have.
Oh, sorry. When you're working, do you work with your actors? How would you, like, I've worked with director, and I'm an actress too, all the time. I want to say that,
That's because you need a solid team. That's what your AD's for. Your AD's for to make sure everybody's there. Your cinematographer is to get the shot and the frame perfectly while they're setting up the frames and the shots. Even before you make a table read. That's like the best time too, because you will see how your actors will actually bring it to life on the table read, and you can all take notes right there. Like, you should change this. You can polish up your script too. Like, oh, I think this doesn't flow right, so you can change dialogue on the spot and make sure it flows nicely. So table reads are actually really important. So I don't know if you do them right. Yes.
Definitely. There's a lot of directors that just hand you the paper and you're that, yeah. This gentleman right here is just like what you were saying. He has an eye for actors. That's his favorite thing. He will, have other people do their jobs, but he will be right up in your face, talking you through it, saying, I need this emotion. Like, he is there with you the entire step of the way. He's got a really good bond with his actors.
Yeah, he's got to trust your team. So.
You feel personally it's better to speak. I just want another reference opinion.
It's better to interact with your actors. Like, those are your projects. Trust your team to do everything else. Trust your AD to accomplish all the getting the people back on set, getting them organized. Trust your AD. Trust your cinematographer that he's gonna get this frame. So when he has it set up, you're looking at it really quick. Does it look good? Cool. You can tell them a little pointer to that light, and while they're doing that, go back to your actors, make them block while you're on set, before set, whatever. I'm always interacting with my actors throughout, just to make sure it comes.
I really feel that.
Because otherwise we'll just get it. But we are out of time, but that one question.
Thanks, I kind of walked in late, but how do you get funding for your projects?
We talked about this a little bit before. Basically, like I said, start off just doing smaller projects, get known first, have a couple underneath your belt. Once you have something to show, usually that'll attract the message a little bit more. You can reach out to local people in the film who just love movies, try to find those lawyers, someone who's just obsessed with movies. You'll find them. They're out there.
Short films instead of features to begin with, to get your product known. So we're not trying to rush you. We just have to be they've got a new person coming in, so that's why we're like looking over that.
But we are going to hang around afterwards to answer more questions.
Yeah, we can stay around and kind of like continue talking and answering. But in that, you can also create kind of like a proof of concept of your film. Like if you have let's say a feature film, you want to maybe film like 5 or 10 minutes of it, so that way you can show like, hey, this is what I want to do. This is a concept. Imagine what I can do with some budget. That's usually what a lot of filmmakers will do, to at least to start.
But yes, if anybody has any questions, we'll be out there. We're more than happy to answer them. Thank you.
Thank you guys all for coming. Like I said, so thank you, Films Festival as well, to Pure Film Festival.
Good night.
Thank you guys.